Now, you remember I said when the whole Russian-Ukraine thing popped off, that was an out. That was an out for so many people that work within the government to try to blame some of the consequences that specifically come from their own individual policies. Of course, with, you consider what's happened in the last, let's just say 2 years, man. Like, understand that even that alone was going to have some ramifications, some consequences rather, that you may not have saw when it initially happened, but you were going to see later. This is one of those things that happens all the time, yet people want to ignore it because often people that definitely work for the government think that they can just ignore economic law and economic reality. But you look at the last 2 years as a prime example. And I've said this before. This isn't just a Biden thing. Many of your beloved Republicans, including in the last fucking president that you guys, some of you guys know and love, he was part of this damn shit as well. And I ain't even talking about the Operation Warp Speed thing. I'm specifically talking, though that was part of it. I'm specifically talking about him signing off on all of these pork-filled fucking stimulus packages by the trillions. So you had in the same time, all of this happened in the same time. And again, Trump had a lot to do with it as well. Biden accelerated it. Trump had a lot to do with it as well, and other Republicans that supported this bullshit. So in the period of time, in that 2 years, you had on the upward, I believe that the number is closer to 40% of the money supply. You know what I mean? Was printed within the last years, right? Last few years or so. Something of that nature is very close. And on top of that, you had as low as economic activity as you had in a very long time because of various forms of lockdowns that had impacted America. In addition to that, while you're printing all the money, during the time you had low economic activity, you also had this period of time, or during this period of time, them passing additional, they already spent money that they don't have through deficit spending, but they were adding additional $1 trillion packages. Trillion. I know that number is like, you can't even conceive it, I guess, anymore because, it's just thrown out there so loosely. That's a lot of fucking money by the trillions that they would just give it away. That wasn't there in the first place. Now, of course, what you see right now, these inflationary issues are because of that, not just that pocket of those last couple of years, but this is what you expect. This is what you get with the said central banking system. This is what you get when you're allowed to monetize your debt. And then you Russian-Ukraine thing, that was an out because now they talk about this gas price, even though prices or inflationary issues were happening before that. Before that. Now, that's not to say it has nothing to do with it, but even if we have the self-inflicted wound of basically America not allowing energy producers to produce energy, definitely outside of the green shit, that gets you in a position to where you're relying upon another country on the other side of the damn world for oil, even though it's like only 10%, that's still insane. If anything, America should be a net exporter. That's because of your government. So like we have right now, Jen Psaki, they know the writing's on the wall. They know this shit's going to get worse. It's already bad. You have an inflation as bad as it's been in a very long time. These guys will never blame themselves. This is what makes government so criminal, man. Because these guys, what they do in itself is criminal. But they'll never blame themselves. Looking at this, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki warned that the next economic report could contain extraordinarily elevated inflation. And they're blaming it on fucking Vladimir goddamn Putin. Psaki made the comments during Monday's media briefing at the White House. So because of the actions we've taken to address Putin's price hike, we are in a better place than we were last month. But we expect March CPI headline inflation to be extraordinarily elevated due to Putin's price hike. So they're going to blame the inflation on Putin. These people, and I can't say they think you're stupid, because a lot of people are stupid. So to be fair, they're accurate there. To where they can just tell folks anything, and these fucking weird blue wavers are going to steal. Like all right, Psaki said it's because of Russia, then it's got to be because of Russia. Biden says it's because of Russia, then it's got to be because of Russia, and that's the rollout, that's the new update for these NPCs. And they said, in addition to this, and we expect a large difference between core and headline inflation reflected in the global disruptions in energy and food markets. Core inflation doesn't include energy and food prices. Headline inflation does. And of course, we know that core inflation, energy, the impact of energy course on oil prices, gas prices, we expect that to continue to reflect what we've seen. The increases be over the course of this invasion, she added. So again, they are literally blaming. That was their out, and you knew that they were going to take it. Here you go right there. And just as an example, says President Putin's military buildup accelerated in January. Average gas prices are up more than 80 cents. Yeah, it's all Putin, guys. Most of the increase occurred in the month of March, and at times gas prices were more than $1 above pre-invasion levels. So that roughly 20% in gas prices will drive tomorrow's inflation reading, and certainly it's not a surprise to us, but we certainly think it will be reflected. So it's like, hey guys, don't worry, shit's hit the fan. You are feeling the brunt of these inflation issues, but it's not our fault, it's Russia. It's Russia. It's Russia. They're either going to blame Russia or the greedy corporations. They'll never blame themselves. In fact, they're going to use this whole ordeal as they do with a lot of crises. They're going to use it to say, we need more power and control. See, this happened because we didn't have enough. Not because we caused the problem, because we don't have enough power. So you give us the power and we'll fix it. And what sucks, I guess, is that there's going to be a lot of people that believe this shit. Because they're stupid. They can't ever concede that the damn government would ever do anything bad, especially when their guys are in charge. That just couldn't happen. Why would they happen? Why would that happen? Why would they do such a thing? Because they're evil, and on the other ones, the ones that aren't evil are economically illiterate. There's like one or two guys in Congress that are like, yeah, we probably shouldn't be spending like this. The rest of them will sign off on whatever fucking Porkfield bill bullshit. As long as them and their cronies are getting lined up, they'll sign off on all kinds of goofy shit, spending money that they don't got. And because of that, because it's, even among like this major dominant parties in the country, like you can't even get people to concede that even the previous administration has something to do with it. Like that triggers them. Right? That'll get people mad. Like it's got to be all Biden, and the other side saying, no, it's all because of policies by way of Republicans. It's like, this isn't even a centrist position. I'm just going by the facts, because centrism isn't taking a position. I'm just going by facts. I just already laid out how Trump played a role in it. Right? Like that's just what happened. And it's not like Biden is going to come in and like, all right, we're going to have some fiscal responsibility. No, he's going to continue on in the same fucking shit that he's been like that had been happening. These crazy fucking people are going to spend money that they don't have. That's just how they operate. That's what they're incentivized to do, because they have this large pool of fucking money that they don't really got because they commoditize this is how it works. You can be mad at me for bringing it up or mad at the next person for bringing it up. But until that's acknowledged and you get over the fact that, hey, maybe your guy is complicit in a lot of this as well. Until you want to address that, well, don't expect the problem to be addressed. Because at that point, it doesn't even become about the issues itself. It only becomes about how can you somehow figure out a way to blame the other side that you think is your political enemy, despite both of you crackhead motherfuckers having a hand in the role in what's happening right now. Like, it should be a simple thing to acknowledge, but it'll never be, unfortunately, because people are more so, who can I blame? Oh, well, Russia. These guys been trying to blame Russia for everything. Here we go. They're invading Ukraine. There's our out. There's our out. Russia's blaming Ukraine, therefore inflation. Not because of anything it is that they've done. And they expect you to believe it.
You just listened to a clip from my podcast, For Cannon's Sake, which is live throughout the week at 12 p.m. Central on YouTube.com/YoungRipper59 and Odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. Be sure to check out my website, EricDJuly.com, so you can stay up to date with everything it is that I'm doing. You can also become a member and get access to a bunch of cool perks and exclusive content, which includes a social media hub where you can interact with myself and other members. It even has an app that you can get, which is now live in the Google and Apple stores.